Fontaine is just your regular drug dealer in the Glen, a retrofuturistic neighborhood where the odds are always against him. He seems to follow the same schedule every day. His mom stays cooped up in her room, hardly saying a word to him, which kinda sucks. He still can't get over the death of his younger brother, and that's tough. One day, Fontaine heads over to collect some cash from Slick Charles, this pimp who owes him money. Things get messy when Slick starts a fight with one of his sex workers, Yo-Yo, right when Fontaine shows up. Get ready for an exhilarating movie review that will keep you on the edge of your seat, all about They Cloned Tyrone, a mind-bending mystery and fantasy film released in 2023. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more thrilling movie reviews, trailers, and incredible content. Somehow, Fontaine manages to get some money from Slick, but then he gets shot by some rival drug dealer named Isaac. It's a real messed up situation. The next morning, Slick can't believe his eyes when Fontaine shows up asking for more money, acting like nothing happened the night before. Yo-Yo joins in and confirms that they thought Fontaine was dead, leaving him puzzled. Suddenly, memories start coming back to Fontaine about a guy who got shot and then got taken away in a shady van. And now, that same van is parked outside the house. Curiosity gets the better of Fontaine, and he decides to check out what's going on inside, while Slick and Yo-Yo express their worries. Their worries turn out to be justified as they stumble upon an elevator that takes them to a secret underground lab. Inside, they meet a scientist with a cool afro who tells them that things have gotten out of hand. Feeling adventurous, Slick and Yo-Yo decide to snort this mysterious white stuff, thinking it's cocaine, but instead, it makes them burst into uncontrollable laughter, leading to an accident that results in the scientist's death. As they're about to leave, they come across a dead body on a table that looks exactly like Fontaine. It's a seriously bizarre and messed up situation they found themselves in. At the chicken joint, everyone suddenly bursts into laughter at the same time, and that's when Slick puts two and two together. He realizes that the fried chicken they've been eating contains that same mysterious white stuff they snorted before. Not good. Yo-Yo decides to dig deeper into the situation and starts getting cozy with the restaurant manager, who happens to look a lot like the scientist Slick accidentally offed earlier. During their little intimate moment, Yo-Yo makes a crazy discovery. The whole Glen is under surveillance, and every move they make is being recorded. Creepy, right? Fontaine keeps getting strange messages from a drunk dude he runs into regularly. Following those cryptic clues, they stumble upon a local black church. But things get really unsettling when they hear the disturbing lyrics that all the churchgoers are singing together. It's all getting weirder by the minute. Once the church service ends, the gang stumbles upon an elevator right on the altar. Inside the lab, Fontaine and Slick are in for a real shocker. They find clones of themselves. And as if that's not crazy enough, they uncover evidence that the scientists behind all this can manipulate the clones using specific trigger words and items, like that chicken they ate earlier. This is some seriously messed up stuff they've stumbled upon. They manage to find an exit that leads them to a local strip club of all places. But here's the twist. The DJ is secretly part of the whole operation, using the music to brainwash the clubgoers and make him chase after our trio. Just when things seem hopeless, a mysterious dude named Nixon shows up and takes down all the brainwashed folks, saving Fontaine, Slick, and Yo-Yo. Nixon spills the beans about the dark truth behind this messed up operation. Turns out, they've been experimenting on poor, mostly black communities, including the Glen, all under the radar, to supposedly achieve peace in America. And guess what? Fontaine and Slick are clones themselves. Nixon even threatens them with some deadly trigger word to stop them from investigating further. This is some heavy stuff they're dealing with. The next morning, Fontaine's world crumbles when he realizes that the voice he thought was his mother's was actually just a recording. That's a real heavy blow for him. Yo-Yo decides she's had enough and takes matters into her own hands. But things go south when her identity gets exposed and Nixon kidnaps her. Not good at all. Fontaine, Slick, and Isaac come up with a plan to rescue Yo-Yo. They decide to fake Fontaine's death to slip into the lab unnoticed. And it works. Fontaine manages to sneak in and then lets Slick and Isaac launch a full-on assault on the lab. With the help of a bunch of Glen residents, it's time to take down these shady scientists once and for all. Yo-Yo manages to free herself and reunites with Slick, but Fontaine is caught and overpowered by his own clone. This clone leads him to an older version of himself, who turns out to be the original Fontaine. And guess what? This real Fontaine has been working with the scientists to create peace by turning black people into white people, all because of the racially motivated murder of his little brother, who pushed him to create those clones. He tries to justify his actions, saying assimilation is better than annihilation for the country. But things take a dark turn when Fontaine uses Nixon's trigger word on another clone, accidentally shooting and killing the real Fontaine. Meanwhile, Yo-Yo keeps Nixon occupied to save her own life. And that's when Slick steps in and takes down Nixon with a bullet to the head. It's a real intense and twisted situation they're in. The facility's entrance at the church swings open, revealing a bunch of naked clones to the public, blowing the lid off the whole secret operation the country's been hiding. With the truth out there, the trio decides it's time to head to Memphis, especially since Yo-Yo announces she's retiring from her job. Meanwhile in LA, there's this guy named Tyrone who's living a life just like Fontaine's. Hanging out with his buddies, they see one of Fontaine's clones pop up on TV, and that's when it hits Tyrone. He's a clone of Fontaine himself. Talk about a crazy revelation. Thanks for joining us on this mind-bending journey with They Cloned Tyrone. We hope you had a blast diving into the enigmatic world of clones and fantasy. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the thrilling updates and exciting content coming your way.